We all know that New York City can run you down. Sometimes, the city feels like one big gray-colored blur. And there's only one way to cure this feeling. You have to replace tall skyscrapers with tall trees. And instead of walking on unforgiving pavement, we need to take a stroll on lush grass. In times like these, it's good to have a few go-to getaway spots. So the weather is gorgeous today. It's the perfect opportunity to see how many New York City parks I can visit. A quick Google search on the benefits of urban green spaces brings up over 200 million results. All of this academic and scientific research sends a clear message. Green spaces are good for us. The World Health Organization supports this large body of work in saying that water spots, from rivers to lakes and fountains, moderate temperatures. And green urban areas facilitate physical activity and relaxation. According to the organization, recent estimates show that physical inactivity linked to poor walkability and lack of access to recreational areas accounts for 3.3% of global deaths. The proven benefits aren't just physical. Having access to green spaces can reduce health inequalities, improve well-being, and aid in the treatment of mental illness. So if green spaces can be found all throughout New York City, and the benefits of them are countless, why is it that a garden in Harlem has been fighting to stay open for over 20 years? Tucked away on West 122nd Street, the Joseph Daniel Wilson Memorial Garden doesn't even feel like New York City. The garden was started by Cindy Worley, who manages the grounds to this day. Cindy has agreed to have lunch with me this afternoon, and as we pick herbs from the garden, she tells me about how she came to Harlem.
I'm originally from Iowa, a woman I had known for many, many years. Her husband was a New York City cop and was helping an elderly gentleman, Mr. Wilson, on this block.
Oh, you can smell, everything has such a distinct smell to it.
And it turned out he had a vacant space in his brownstone. And I was in need of an apartment. I said yes, sight unseen. We just really reacquired this sunny space due to the construction.
Being surrounded by construction is a huge disadvantage. Are you seeing some new problems appear because of this recent construction over here?
When they were doing construction, they had to use this as staging area, so we weren't able to do anything. But that said, this fellow is very garden friendly. He's very pro-garden. Great. I think that's it. Right? Yes. And we'll probably snip it up and mix it up.
You might think that the random sounds of construction going on would disrupt the garden's energy, but it's clear that Mother Nature will not be outshined. We're gonna make a little salad from all these ingredients, but I think we should start with some of this wine. Can you tell me about this wine?
Well, it's just made with a bunch of mulberries.
That are grown here, yeah?
Yeah, the mulberry trees. And sugar, and we put in a little yeast.
Oh,
A
nice.
little wine yeast.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay.
So good.
It's good, right?
It's very delicious.
I really learned it from Haja, my husband, who will be joining us in a little bit.
Great. So how are we going to start this?
Well, we're going to pull. Yeah, so we don't use it. We'll pull the basil and the chard.
Mr. Wilson, as I understand it, was the landlord, and he is the namesake for this garden.
He was originally from Guyana. He loves horticulture. And so I approached him one day because there were these vacant lots across the street which had nothing, absolutely nothing but junk. I said to Mr. Wilson, we should make a garden. And at first he said, oh, Cindy, I know you work so hard and people won't appreciate it. But, it turns out people did appreciate it.
And in this garden, there's more to be found than just herbs.
These are eggs from our chickens.
Yes, because you have chickens here as well.
Right.
So this is a multi-versatile garden.
Versatile, diversified garden farm park.
Garden farm park, I like that. I promise my hands are clean.
Oh, sure. Should we put them in there?
Yeah. This is more greens that I've had. My mom is probably very excited. She's like, feed him greens, please.
Right. I have two dressings here. One is a homemade raspberry dressing, and this is a homemade honey yogurt mustard dressing.
I think that's lunch is ready just in time for Cindy's husband, Haja, to join us. Let's get some more wine going here. I want to talk about what the garden looked like before.
Yeah, it was twice the size.
In October of 1996, right, many gardeners received letters saying that we had to make way for eminent developers.
We got in touch with gardeners downtown.
One by one gardens were demolished. Very often the developers and the city actually would come at the crack of dawn and dispose of the garden.
This construction going on currently, does it, obviously it doesn't infringe too much with the garden itself, but is it scary? Does it bring like flashbacks?
Oh yeah. Oh,
well,
yeah.
whenever I see a bulldozer anywhere, that is traumatic. A bulldozer anywhere.
Did it feel like, the city was against this beautiful piece of land? That you
Oh,
guys
they
had
were
put so much
definitely
effort
against
into
it.
Yeah.
Giuliani called us hippies and communists and everything he could think of.
The gardens were making their mark through it all. There was a lot of sympathy.
Cindy and Haja take me through an album of the garden's history.
This is an article that was in the New York Times in Houses Before Gardens, New York City Decides. And then it just became really a years-long struggle.
Let's have some of the salad. I'm gonna serve you guys up here. Perfect. So you were mentioning that some people got in the trees to save, in the face of bulldozers.
A young man whose name I can't recall Ben Schwartz, yeah. He got up in the cherry tree.
Yeah.
Somebody saw the bulldozer moving and said there's somebody in the tree because the bulldozer was coming at the tree. I asked Ben to come down because I didn't want to see anybody get hurt.
So the most recent struggle you have faced within this garden is that the two of the lots, which are not connected, are owned or were sold by the city to a man.
Years ago, well, in the early 1970s, he bought these lots for $300 from the city auction. He didn't pay taxes for years and years and years. In 1999, he surfaced. At that point, the city was about to foreclose on him, and he wanted to reclaim them. We got in touch with media, and BAI said everybody in New York City go to 122nd Street, so the street was just filled with people.
Wow.
I mean, they began to see that we were a force to be reckoned with. The Manhattan Borough President got involved, and fast forward to 2018, 2019, the ULURP, the Uniform Land Use Review process, has been completed and approved. It's like many different steps. The owner will get land.
For the community here, and for you two specifically, this has really been a decades-long process to keep this garden up and running.
Right. When they moved on this garden, it was like, it was just heartbreaking. And Cindy came out and, she yelled at them. It's like having a child or something.
It really is.
You put your blood and your sweat into something, and then somebody comes and takes it away. Now, over the years, we've seen the benefit of our labor. All our efforts are paying off. But we still keep one eye open, because this is New York, and real estate is prime.
When people say, well, is the garden permanent or is it safe? I say it's as permanent as any garden can be.
For people who want to sell spaces and want to turn spaces like this into housing and make money off of them, what is your best, how can you implore to them? You know what I mean? Like, what do you wish you could tell them?
We're not against housing. We're just saying that there's got to be green space. There's got to be green. It can't be a concrete jungle. It can't all be concrete and brick.
This is Mr. Wilson.
Oh, this is Mr. Wilson.
Yeah. And me.
What do you think Mr. Wilson would say now?
Oh, he would be happy. He would be delighted. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd
He
say,
would be
such a blessing.
Yes. He would be overwhelmed.
Green spaces remind us to focus on our emotional health. Take some time to enjoy them frequently. Because before you know it, when the day turns into the night, you'll be right back in the middle of the concrete jungle.